Hello there, Libra. Thank you for stopping by for your video tarot forecast for the month of March. What we're looking at here is not a comprehensive forecast for March, but we are looking at one life cycle that you will be experiencing sometime during that month. So a life cycle basically is something where we are set up to either learn something or experience something. And then, so we have the setup of the life cycle, we have the lesson or the experience, and then we have fulfillment of the life cycle where we're actually integrating that lesson or experience into our lives. So that's what we're going to be looking at is one life cycle. We all have several different life cycles running at the same time. They usually overlap with each other. And so this may or may not take all of March, but it's going to be a major theme that comes up for you during March. And like I said, this is a general reading, so not everything is going to apply to everyone. My agreement with Sacred Spirit is that when I do these general readings, that this will apply to most of the Libras that watch this video. And then also, what you need to know is another part of my agreement with Sacred Spirit is that everything that comes up is for your highest and best good. So even if you hear something that is not real flowery and pretty and fluffy and happiness, joyful, it may be that what's going on is that it is still in your highest and best interest to know about this and to have a heads up about it. Or maybe even if you're watching this later, it might help you to understand what's been going on if you have a different perspective on it, from a spirit version of perspective on it. So, with all of that announced, let's move forward with your reading, Libra. The first thing that I'm seeing has to do with your environment. An environment is any place that you have energy or effort invested. Usually I see environment coming up in my private readings as home, although it has also come up as school or as work as well. And so there's a decision that needs to be made about your environment, and I feel like in March you are making this decision, and you're doing it really by looking at the big picture. I don't feel like you're overthinking this or overanalyzing or looking at every tiny little detail and trying to add it all up. I think you're just bottom lining the situation and making this decision based on the bottom line, the big picture on this situation about your environment. Now, the next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about those things that you're working on your subconscious. So these are the background programs running in your head. Every once in a while they'll pop up into consciousness, but mostly we're just kind of working on them on autopilot in the background. What I have coming up is that your subconscious is really working on clearing out some things. This feels to me like, as I'm sort of glancing through the rest of the spread, this feels to me like this could be clearing out of some old hurts or some old wounds or even some negative patterns of thinking that might have been brought on by old hurts or old wounds that happened to you in the past. And so I see your subconscious really working on how can you get rid of those negative patterns or those negative impressions from the past so that you can move forward in a more productive way. So that's what you're working on subconsciously. And then the next card talks to me about two different things. It talks to me about your learning style as it pertains to this particular life cycle, and it also talks to me about your communication style for this particular life cycle. So first of all, for learning right now, I feel like you are diving into something that is really new to you, very, very foreign and new. So you're just learning everything from scratch on whatever this topic is that has to do with this life cycle that you're learning about or doing research on. And I do feel like this is more a research-oriented way of learning more than anything formal. It's more you just digging around and looking for information and putting pieces together. Let's see, as far as communication style, I feel like this month your communication style, at least around this life cycle, is very direct, very blunt, at sometimes maybe even abrasive. I feel like you're having some feelings here that are very strong, and there's not a lot of room for shades of gray in this topic as far as you're concerned. As far as you're concerned, everything is very black and white here. And I feel like when you're communicating in that very black and white way with no room for anything in between. Now, when we look at your work, what you need to know about me is work can be that way that you make a living, but it also can be those things that you're doing to improve your own character, to improve your own integrity. And so what I'm seeing coming up in the position of work for you guys talks about that you already know your strengths, you know what you're good at, you know what your strong and solid abilities are, but you are looking around in the world for a way to market those strengths or market those abilities, or where can you go to make these available so that somebody would pay you to be able to do these things that you're very good at. Not only are you good at them, you actually enjoy them and they feel fulfilling for you. So looking around for where you can use your strengths and feel fulfilled and have your bills paid all at the same time. Okay, now the next card that comes up talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. What I'm seeing here is this is about feminine energy being grown or expanded. I don't care if you're a man or if you're a woman. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy both. Masculine energy is go, 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 do, do, do. Feminine energy is allow, allow, allow. Feminine energy is that energy that lets the universe know what we want and then allows it to come in. Masculine energy is on a mission. It's very active. It's doing. So this is talking about that you are expanding or practicing your feminine energy and making that stronger within yourself. So this could be learning to use law of attraction in a more conscious way and allowing good things to come into your life in that way. This can also, for some of you, be manifesting in such a way that maybe you have a hard time letting people do things for you or give things to you. Maybe you're used to being the one doing or giving, and so this can be you learning to let other people actually help you. Either way, it's an expansion of feminine energy, an expansion of that allowing good things to come into you without you having to go out and just drag them in by the hair. All right, so let's move on. The next thing that I'm looking at is something that you would stand for during this life cycle in March, Libra. And what I'm really seeing is that there's something that you're in denial about in your life. You're not ready to face the truth. A lot of us have these situations at some point or other in our life where to face the truth would really be hard for us. It would hurt to think that what's really going on is really going on. And so I feel like you have a situation like this in your life connected with this life cycle, Libra. And the thing that you stand for is you stand for the choice to be in denial about this, the choice to see those red flags and sweep them under the rug and pretend like you didn't see them. So if somebody would try to accuse you of being in denial and try to point out the truth to you before you're ready to hear it, you would be telling them, hey, you got it wrong. Step off, Jack. So this is what I'm seeing as far as what you're standing up for during this life cycle in March, Libra. That might be obviously something that you want to look at. You might want to see if you can identify what that thing might be that you're in denial about and look at why is it so important for you to deny the truth here, and is that really what you want to do now that you're more consciously aware of it. Okay, so the next card that we have tells me a little bit about how other people perceive you. And what I have coming up here is that other people see you as somebody who has no problem with taking on responsibility and with that you have good family values, that you're very interested in family and in not necessarily blood family, that you may be interested in having that good close network even of friends. For some of you, blood family is what we're talking about, but for others of you, I feel like your philosophy is more the family is consistent of the people that you choose to let into your life, whether they're blood or not. So in that case, if you have that type of mindset, this is talking more about your network of friends that you can be counted on um, by family or by that network of friends, whichever way this is coming in from you. That's how you're perceived by the people around you. Now, the next card that we have does talk to me about that key lesson or key experience that you have to go through, Libra, to finish out this life cycle. And by the way, a life cycle can last as long or as short as you would like it to. It all depends on how quickly and how enthusiastically you embrace the lesson or experience will determine how long a life cycle actually takes. So it's completely up to free will. Okay, so your lesson or experience has to do with third-party interference. So this is talking about maybe you have a relationship with a friend of yours that you've had for a really long time and you've always gotten along well. Well, now there's a new person in the group and she's kind of coming between, or he could be kind of coming between you and that friend. This can also come up in love relationships when somebody, when one of the partners starts seeing somebody else on the side, then that can be considered third-party interference too, because that can throw the whole chemistry of the original partnership. So third-party interference basically is the experience that you're going through. I don't feel like for most of you this has to do with anything romantic. I feel like this has to do more with a situation having to do with friendship or a situation having to do with work colleagues where there's this third-party interference, somebody that's kind of throwing a monkey wrench into the everyday wheel of the cogs of your relationship with this other person. So what happens as you learn to deal with this, as you go through this experience, I feel like, wow, we've basically got two cards saying the same thing here for the for as you integrate this into your life. So basically there's a couple of things going on. The big thing that is really accentuated by the two cards talks about not letting that relationship go just because there's third-party interference. So with these cards showing up, that's telling me that it's really tempting to just say, you know what, you really believe that other person that I would be like this, or you know what, you really want to side with that other person when you've known me so long, or whatever the scenario may be. I feel like it's really tempting to say, you know what, I don't need this friendship or I don't need this relationship anymore. I'm just going to walk away. But I feel like even if you try to walk away from this, there's just too much history there. There's too much of a bond there. And you're just not able to actually let it go. Now, with the other thing that's coming up as you integrate dealing with this is that this is something that makes you unhappy, this third-party interference. It makes you unhappy and you're trying, I think it really throws you on being yourself. It kind of throws you on being yourself. I feel like you're trying to be someone that you're not just to get your old friend's attention back, or maybe to get into a good light with this new person so that there can be a nice relationship between the three of you. But I feel like you're really not living in your normal personality. You're not feeling comfortable in your own skin as you go through this. So this is a big learning experience. It's something that's really different for you. And I feel like as you are processing through this, this is really, you know, this, when we get to the fulfillment of a life cycle, it's a given that it's the beginning of the next life cycle. But with this, the way this is ending out, you can really see where the next life cycle is going to go to kind of bring things back into an even keel and get your self-esteem back, getting your comfort with being in your own skin back. But for right now, during this particular life cycle, I'm feeling you not being comfortable just being yourself, just trying to please other people to get back in good graces with the original friend and probably also with that new person that's come along as well. So very interesting month. It looks like there's a lot to be learned here. You've got a lot going on with looking for, you know, a new place to work anyway, to put your skills out there to be paid for, and with trying to clear some old negative stuff. So you've got a lot of really fantastic forward progress stuff going on this month. So not saying it'll be easy, but definitely looks worth it, Libra. So you guys have a fantastic month. I want to thank all of you for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, subscribing, sharing, for all your wonderful comments. I do appreciate all of your support. Everyone have a fantastic month. I'll see you back here the next time. Peace out.